Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Strixhaven draft here on the channel. If you're new here, my name is Nikolai, and in this video, I'm going to be going pick by pick and play by play through a Strixhaven draft, talking through all of my decisions so you can level up and improve at draft yourself. This is a really fun draft, and I had a lot of fun making it, and so I think you are going to enjoy it. Remember, if you do like it, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe for more, and without further ado, let's get to the draft. Here we go! Diving into another Strixhaven draft. We have a Demogoth Titan as the rare. Not a particularly good rare just because it's hard to find fodder for it. There is Pest Summoning in this pack though, so that's the sort of card that you would feed to your Titan. It does work particularly well with Tend the Pests, though there's no guarantee of getting that because it's an uncommon. This card also sometimes wheels. The Brackish Trudge tends to underperform. It looks solid, but it's harder to gain life than you might think. I think this is just a pretty nice Rise of Exodus pack. It goes into a lot of different decks. It has some built-in card advantage, and I like the flexibility combined with the power of a removal spell and getting some learn. After that, honestly, this pack falls off a bit. Snow Day is quite good, but not as flexible as Rise of Exodus. And then, yeah, the Titan is probably not even close. Maybe Pest Summoning, Brackish Trudge is fine. Overall, a relatively weak pack other than the Exodus. So we've started with Rise of Exodus, and then we see a very, very Silver Quill pack. I think Thunderous Orator is great. It works particularly well with the Inkling Summoning, because then you have basically a 2-mana 2/2 Vigilance Flyer, and then it works great with Killian, because then you get the Lifelink and Menace, and all sorts of stuff, because it just gains a lot of abilities. So I'm tempted by this. I also like Inkling Summoning. It goes well with Rise of Exodus, but I think premium 2-drops are really important, especially if you're trying to build one of the aggressive decks. So it works well in Lorehold or Silver Quill, and this is one of the premium 2-drops of the format. So I'm going to take that here. The Shadewing Laureate actually overperforms because for some reason other flyers do end up dying when this is on the battlefield instead of this just dying, so that's something worth noting. But I'm just going to take the Thunderous Orator over the Inkling Summoning. I think Inkling Summoning would be number 2 for me, just because it does go well with Rise of Exodus, and it still maintains that flexibility. But good 2-drops are premium. So this, and then this. I like to say my second pick out of the pack, just because I think it makes it more interesting. Interesting. So Environmental Sciences is quite good. And I'm not necessarily committed to going aggro. I could just go for the Environmental Sciences and then go for a more grindy deck. Though I will say that the black-white decks tend not to need Environmental Sciences as much. Red-white tends not to need it as much because those decks really want to be focused on being aggressive. So the only deck that uses this card that would be a more grindy deck is a Witherbloom deck, which also would rather be a little bit more aggressive than grindy. It is still early on, so I could still shift gears. There's a Professor of Zoomancy, so maybe a black-green deck is still open. There's also Brackish Trudge. I could also just take Shock for some cheap interaction. I've been very tempted by just trying to build aggressive decks as much as I can, so I think I am going to take the Shock and see how that turns out. Environmental Sciences is a fine pick, but I feel like if I build an Environmental Sciences deck here, I might just end up with a dirtily deck that loses to decks that go over the top better, that are just Quandrix, that are built to do Quandrix things. So there's a Mage Duel here. That card is good. There's also Inkling Summoning, which would go in this Lorehold aggro deck I'm building. And it works well with the Orator. There's also, so Mage Duel and Inkling Summoning are the 2 cards that I'm thinking about here. Mage Duel is quite good, but doesn't go with any of the cards that I have, so I couldn't just place it as a signal. There was a Professor of Zoomancy as well in that last pack, so Mage Duel and Zoomancy, so green could be open. Inkling Summoning can also fit into a Witherbloom deck, though, so we're just going to get that. And now it looks like we're going to get another premium 2-drop in the Silver Quill Apprentice. Another good green card in Mage Duel. I'm not a huge fan of Dina. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Maybe that's how it's pronounced, Dinah. Mage Duels are great. We haven't seen a ton of gold. I guess we saw the blue-green card. I'm just going to keep taking... I guess that means I can't play Shock. I could just speculate on the Mage Duel and just abandon my other cards. This would mean I abandon Shock. Tough spot here. Mage duel number 2 in a row. I'm just going to take this Silver Quill Apprentice. Rewarded a little bit there with another Silver Quill Apprentice. I wouldn't mind another Inkling Summoning. You kind of want as many of those as you can get, but I don't currently have any Learn spells. So I'm just going to keep taking premium 2-drops that make combat easier for me, and then I'm going to focus on getting some instants. So Professor's Warning works really well with Silver Quill Apprentice. And yeah, it's looking like I'm going to end up Silver Quill. Wow, late Witherbloom Apprentice. Very late Witherbloom Apprentice. This card is very, very good. Much better than Beaming Defiance. I guess I'll take it. There's a chance I just abandon these 3 white cards and the red card and just go Witherbloom still. I did get past 2 Mage Duels, and that could be an indication that in pack 3 I'll get hooked up. Though to be fair, I really do just want Beaming Defiance and to play Silver Quill aggro. So maybe I'm just supposed to take Beaming Defiance and just ignore Witherbloom. Let's just ignore Witherbloom. We have the start for a good aggro deck. We'll be fine. We'll make playables. And now I get an Intro to Prophecy. Or I could take Academic Dispute, and then keep the options open for going red-white still. Intro to Prophecy is just a fine lesson to have access to, though. 2 Silver Quill Apprentices. I'd rather go black-white, so I'm just going to do this. We wheel nothing. Overall, not the greatest pack so far. I do have 3 premium 2-drops, an instant that works well with the apprentices. Overall, though, kind of a clunker of a deck so far. Witherbloom might be open more than this deck that I'm drafting. I still think I want to prioritize 2-drops over combat tricks. I would like Professor's Warning, though. It does work really well with the apprentices. Arrogant Poet is a reasonable 2-drop and works with the Thunderous Orator. 4 2-drops, eh? If I take the 2-drops now, I can take combat tricks later. And I do want, like, guiding voices and things like that. Woo, I like Access Tunnel. I'm actually much higher on Access Tunnel than I used to be. I think I've played it in a few decks now, and it's always been, like, a pretty solid card for me. Yay, more Beaming Defiances. Sure, we'll take this just so we don't pass any white cards. Ooh, Star People. I might actually play that. Try to get aggro as possible. Okay, so I do like Expanded Anatomy. I also like Eager First Year. There's also Humiliate, which is a nice interaction slash remove the card from their hand type deal. This card's actually just very strong. It doesn't necessarily look as strong as it actually ends up being. And it also triggers my Silver Quill Apprentices and works with my Star Pupil. I do like Eager First Year a lot. This is more of a 3 or 4-drop, though, I've found. You don't really want to cast it on turn 2 unless you already have a 1-drop in play. Given that the last Arrogant Poet wheeled, maybe I'll wheel one of these 2 cards. I don't really like Agonizing Remorse. Putting a counter is actually a really big deal. Expanded Anatomy is really good as well, but I don't have any Learn cards. I think people are snapping those up. But I'm going to be on the lookout for Learn. There's a Brackish Trudge. Ooh, Combat Professor. Never mind. I didn't see it at first, but this card is great. Really helps my smaller creatures attack in. Wears counters quite well. Is a good threat on its own. Big fan of this card. Big fan. Academic Probation is just a mediocre card. Not a huge priority for me. Well, this card is absolutely silly good. But it is miles away from where I am. Probably because the person next to me is drafting red-blue or something. That would make sense. Could just take Elocution. Not really in the market for Go Blank, and playing 1 copy of this could be okay. Sign in Blood, Spiteful Squad, Silver Quill Campus. I like having a campus to balance out the loss of colors from Access Tunnel. Heated Debate. Sign in Blood is a little bit tricky to cast and not necessarily what my aggro deck wants to be doing.
as much. Spiteful Squad works well with Humiliate, but it is a 4-drop. I'm just going to take the Campus. And then this thing can buff up all my creatures, which I have a decent number. I'll get the Anatomy now. Dusk Mage, I have a couple ways to put counters on it, but I really would like some Learn cards. I've got a soft spot for Make Your Mark. It always seems to perform pretty well for me. Not really in the market for Sciences. I don't have any Learn cards anyway. Show of Confidence works well with some of my cards. Maybe this is a good chance to try it. It's only for instants and sorceries. I only have 4. I have 4 instants, so like Make Your Mark into it's pretty good. Beaming Defiance into it's kind of good, but I'm just gonna take the flyer. And we did wheel another 2-drop. Not the Eager First Year, but Arrogant Poet's okay. I'm kind of treating this as a 4-drop. And I do have a few instants. I could just main deck this card if I don't find any learn. It's not like I've been passing learn cards either. I just haven't seen any. Probably not a good sign for the openness of my deck. I really wish I could be playing these enthusiastic studies and stuff. Reduce to memory. I'm not going to play Go Blank, I don't think. Sometimes you might want Reduce to memory to get rid of a flyer or something if I do get some learn. I would love some guiding voices, some study breaks, that sort of thing. Wild. I could always play some of these cards. I just don't want to. I do not want to, Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. Oh my gosh, I've never read that flavor text before. Think of an insult so vicious, so vulgar, that you hesitate to speak it aloud. The strongest, most aggressive inklings are born from such scorn. Does Axis Tunnel have flavor text? Auric agents stick to the dark corners of Arcavios, unseen yet ever present. Big pack, and we find... not bad. Combat Professor. Harness Infinity and Putrefy for the black-green deck that almost was. Were it not for my aversion to playing black-green. But yeah, Combat Professor is great. This is a sort of deck that actually just has... I just have like all solid cards, pretty much. I don't have anything like absurd. I don't have any wild synergies, but all my cards are solid. And that's generally a decent recipe for success in Limited. Velomachus Lorehold. Well. This guy is a beating. Very difficult to beat. I will say that now I wish... Well, I guess Environmental Sciences wouldn't even help because I don't have any Learn cards anyway. I guess I have this Rise of Exodus. I think I'm just going to take another Rise of Exodus. My deck isn't going to want to play Velomachus. It's a 7-drop. It's really hard to cast. Not that I really want a second 6-drop, but... yeah. Arg, I was trying to toe the line between red-white and black-white, and then when I settled on black-white... yeah, this is how it goes sometimes. I think the 2 Silver Quill Apprentices are just, and the Humiliate are just good enough to make me not want to put a 7-drop into my deck. Even though that might mean I get some more stuff later. I also have the 2 arrogant poets and stuff. Boom, let's go. This card is very strong. Nice. Things could still work out beautifully yet. What else is there in this pack? Nothing really. Maybe I'll get the land back. Silver Quill Command is very good, though. Yes! Oh, I knew I was on the right path. I knew things would work out. When your father is Dean Ambrose, second best really isn't an option. But yeah, Killian's amazing. I have these 2 cards, which can learn to get Inkling Summoning. Or I could just main deck the Inkling Summoning and use them to get Expanded Anatomy and Prophecy, which is fine as well. Easy Killian, though. So 6 2-drops. This art always makes me think, oh, it's Mizzix's Mastery, but it is always Claim the Firstborn. Expanded Anatomy. I don't have any learns. Oh, if I had cheap learns, I would play that. As it is, I'll just take the Mage Hunter's Onslaught. Having a removal spell is nice. Currently, I only have Defend the Campus, so, and then the Rise of Exodus, so something a little cheaper is nice. The Lorehold Pledge Mage is just really hard to cast, so I'm not really, that's why I've kind of been ignoring it. It's not super hard to cast, but double white is still a cost. So, it does work well with Silver Quill Apprentice, though. So maybe I shouldn't be ignoring them as much as I am. I'll take Unwilling Ingredient, get a nice 1-drop aggro creature in to work with my Humiliate. Defiant Strike, Mage Hunter. So Mage Hunter is a 4-drop. I already have plentiful 4-drops. Clever Lumimancer doesn't work well with the cards I have as much. It does work a little bit, but not as much. And I think Defiant Strike is just worth taking here. Because it's super good with Silver Quill Apprentice and just lets my cards do some stuff that's fancy. So that's what we'll do there. Another Beaming Defiance, eh? Pacha? This deck is shaping up. Probably still a 17 land deck because I have this Access Tunnel and because I have a lot of 4-drop cards. The Humiliate is potentially a 2-drop now. I'll just take the uncommon for the collection, as they say. Fills the vault quicker, if ever so slightly. And Beaming Defiance works well with Killian and the apprentices. I was actually thinking of Ageless Guardian. It's actually kind of funny in this deck because I have so many ways to buff like power only with Combat Professor and stuff, but I still think I'm not going to play the Dusk Mage. Having access to this couldn't hurt. Another 2-drop. Collection building. So this is 24 playables and 2 and 2 lands. So I probably want to make 1 cut. And I don't think I want Pilgrim of Ages because I'm trying to be aggressive. I could see cutting Defend the Campus, though buffing my entire team feels pretty good. So I have 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 2-drops, though this is technically not a creature, and oftentimes won't be cast on turn 2. I'm definitely going to main deck this card. These guys are mostly going to get the Anatomy and Prophecy, and maybe sometimes Spirit Summoning. Do I want the Elocution? Elocution might be better than Defend the Campus. I don't think I want to cut any creatures. Maybe I cut this Defend the Campus. Beaming Defiance is probably just better. Yeah, let's try it like this, I think. Should be a pretty solid deck. Triple Beaming Defiance to help my creatures punch through. Some nice aggressive elements. And then, like, decent mana base as well with this Axis Tunnel and a couple of Rises. So yeah, pretty cool deck, and I'll see you folks in the matches.
Before I get to the matches, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons who support my work at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, and special shout out to those who support at the credits level. Their support really does help me continue producing high quality content on a consistent basis, and for that I am truly grateful. If you feel like my work has provided you with a couple dollars worth of value and you would like to give back and support, then the Patreon is the best way to do so. In exchange, you not only get to help me continue making videos, but also gain access to things like card tier lists, exclusive Patreon polls being put in the credits, and even one-on-one coaching at the higher levels. If that's something that sounds interesting to you, be sure to check it out at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. And without further ado, let's get to the matches.
Welcome to round one. A nice hand here. We're going to lead with the Unwilling Ingredient on turn one. Oh, they also have one. We've got the classic 1-2-3 start. Oh, the mirror match. Being on the draw for the mirror match could be hurtful. But it does give us a chance to break serve on some trades maybe, or hit our curve more consistently or something like that. Ouch. That's tough. That is tough. Now I'm going to play this guy, because that can double block Killian. Or the Unwilling Ingredient. That is painful. That is tough. It looks like they might be missing a land, though. Then these two can double block the Killian. I think I have to double block it. That's a good draw. I don't think I want to pay 2 life to gain 2 life. I'll just attack with this guy. And the next turn I'll start holding up Beaming Defiance. Okay, well, I guess I won't hold up Beaming Defiance unless I do nothing on my turn. Maybe they just take Inkling Summoning. No, they take Beaming Defiance. I guess I should have attacked first. Goodness gracious me. Please cast it on the Spellbinder. Please. Don't cast it on Killian. Oh, please cast it on Spellbinder. Dag nabbit. So 2-1 for 3-1 is a good trade for me. 2-3 for that guy's a good trade for me. Trading these two and then making my mark on that. These trades all work out relatively favorably for me. They gain a lot of life, but... And then I'll use this thing. This card loses a lot of effectiveness once they Elite Spellbinder it. No! They got all the guiding voices and stuff that I wanted. I'll trade my 3/2 for a 2/2 menace. Do I want to do that? Maybe not. I probably should have done this in response to the attack so I had more information. Yeah. Two for a 2/2 is decent. That's a draw. The reason I'm doing that now is because I'm not going to be able to get much more value out of the Beaming Defiance since they know I have it. Sure. I'll just trade off. And I can scry. Sure. I think we're both aggro decks, so we presumably have similar cards, but since I have a scry every turn, I'm going to be favored in a top deck war. And I'm lower on life, so I do want to be defensive. I don't want to trade this for their 2-drop. I'll put that on top. And I will get my Spirit Summoning, I think. Get myself a creature. They can potentially give their guy flying, but I will just try to trade. Every time I do that, it's basically like drawing a card. Nice draw. I've got this thing that works with the Silver Quill Apprentice. Okay. Another card draw, pretty much. This is where you hope they don't have some crazy combo with their golem, but I can't do anything about that, really. And I have Beaming Defiance to protect it as well. I'm sure they have a combat trick, or it feels like they probably do. I wouldn't have gone for this if I didn't have the Beaming Defiance, I don't think. I would have just gone for a double block, probably. This takes 4 mana, this takes 5 mana essentially, so I have 3, 6, 7, 8. Now I can do both in a turn if I whiff. Well, that's a draw. I'm gonna do a return with 2 or less from my graveyard to the battlefield because I'm gonna do it with Thunderous Ordor because I don't want to draw a card and lose a life because then I would be 2 hit range from that. So I'm gonna make them sack a creature and I'm gonna give a thing +2/+3 and flying. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I already have lethal if they don't have removal, and if they had removal, they probably would have used it. Buff this guy. I'm actually going to do this, because this way, I pretty much ensure lethal. All my guys. Or at least put them to 1. Boom, got the win. Good performance by the deck there. The Scryland doing work in that top deck battle. They managed to recover. They missed a couple land drops, which was really important for us stabilizing, but that's one of the perks of being on the draw, is you're less likely to miss land drops. And we got the first round. I wish we had a little bit more learn, but having 2 Rise of Exodus is solid for the learn package. And the fact that some of our lands actually do stuff is really nice as well. That was just a patience game. It's good to be able to save your cards and stuff. So, yeah, that's why not using the Rise of Exodus right away was a pretty key decision point in that game. Just like trade our creatures. We're not super in a rush or anything like that. We just trade the guys, do what we can. Okay, we'll keep this. We do need to hit a land to be able to we need to hit a couple lands actually, but 1 drop, 2 drop into potential 3 drop on the play is nice. Can just run over some players. And Combat Professor works really well with Star Pupil. Lets it trade for a real card. Are they going to shock it? They are. Wow. I'm not super surprised that they did that, but I am kind of surprised. I will use this Beaming Defiance. If they block. Okay, now I'm just going to hold back on defense. Now that they've gotten a little bit of momentum, I'm the defensive player here. I missed a land drop, so I just have to be careful. Okay, heated debate. Trading a 2/2 for a 2/1 is still good for me. Boom, let's go. Imagine if we'd had a land so we could protect our Killian with Beaming Defiance. That would have been real good. This is a good trade. When you're defensive, trading the cards like that is really good. Because a 2/1 for a 3/2 for a 2/1 is just good for me because I'm just trying to stabilize. This card's less important than the Combat Professor. So now if they want to kill the Combat Professor, they're at least going to take 3 from this guy. So they have 3 cards in hand now. I'm just going to hold up Beaming Defiance. I don't need to kill this yet. Have them on a 3-turn clock here with backup and Mage Hunter's Onslaught if they have anything too scary. So, not really worried about it. So I could go for lethal here. No real reason to, though. Like, sure, they could have a sweeper or something, but now I get to hold up Beaming Defiance in case they have removal. And if they had, like, an Expel or something, it just works out really badly for me. Got him. Pretty good start from the deck. We even missed a land drop for a turn, and it didn't matter. So, yeah. Nice little aggressive deck. The combat tricks really do a lot of work. Helping us push through. Don't need a lot of removal. Just let the creatures do the talking. Let the creatures do the talking, instance. Just go chill out and hang out and play some Xbox or something. We'll be back to collect you soon after this Silver Quill draft is over. Instants and sorceries, not necessary, even though we have like 12 of them, so I'm like, yeah, we have a lot of stuff. Oh, gosh. Well, on the play, we need to hit a white source. We have slightly more white sources than black sources. Gosh, we have 1/2 drop. If we don't hit a white source, we basically just lose. I'm gonna mulligan this. Same hand, but worse. I'm gonna mulligan this as well. This is much better. Keep 5, ditch the Onslaught and the Campus. Then we can Humiliate. Oh, they have Divide by 0. They have Reject. We can blow out the... Oh, they only have 2 lands, though, and they're both forests. Let's just take the Divide by 0, then. And hope that they whiff on Island. So now that this reject is never going to do anything. Menace for the win! I am afraid of a mage duel or something. Okay, so they have reject up now. That's not as fun. So we have 2 menace creatures. This also is meant. We have 3 menace creatures, essentially. We'll just trade off for the Needlethorn Drake. And then we'll have another evasive creature next turn. I don't want to auto stack triggered abilities. Perfect. Sure. Give me a plains. There we go. Resolution order. So this will resolve first and then that, yeah. Wow, we'll kill their flyer. We could have put him to 1 there, but that doesn't really matter. We'll just hold up Beaming Defiance. Now we win. Got him. On a mull to 5. Though, to be fair, they also mulliganed. Got the win. Nice little start. The unwilling ingredient to humiliate into Killian. Realizing that they can't cast Reject without blue mana. Just figuring out divide by 0 for environmental sciences is probably a line they really want to make. And just continually cruising forward. We'll keep this. 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop on the play, it looks like. If we play against a slow deck, that's just going to be good enough, probably. I should have attacked first, just out of habit. Overgrown Arch is a little bit annoying. It's going to gain them some life. But we're going to be able to hit them pretty hard. We got a lot of flyers. Yeah, Cultivate's probably too slow here. Let's just assume that they have 3 more turns. This will gain them 3 there at 20. Maybe they have 4 or 5 more turns. I don't know. They're not splashing. Mage Hunter's Onslaught is pretty good. So far this is only stopping 1 damage a turn, so I think deploying 2 creatures is better here. It's like a 2 life swing a turn, basically. It's like stopping a 2/2. But next turn, we'll be able to do a little bit more. Kill something scarier, probably. If I didn't have two really good creatures to play... Like, if I didn't have two relevant creatures to play, I don't think I would do that. But given that they could just jam a Witherbloom Pledge Mage or something... Or that. Yeah. So now we get to kill a 6/6 instead. That's just better. Now we just hope they don't have a hexproof thing. Are you kidding me? Do they actually have Snakeskin Veil? Oh yeah, let's go. I don't think I need to pay 2 life. They're probably going to block there, or they're going to double block Killian. Yep, double blocking Killian makes sense. So we've almost got them dead. That guy was a pretty good card to have. No, the Servant! Don't get me, Servant. Okay, we're chilling. We've got 3 flyers. Just to make sure this thing has menace. Though it already has flying, so that didn't really matter. And now I can pay 2 life. So I have... They're going to be able to gain 1 life, so I have 2 lethal cards no matter what. Okay, looks like they're dead. To exact damage. I'm going to play this just in case they try to remove flying from Thunderous Orator. Got the win. Let's go. You love to see it. Just cruising. The deck is performing very well. We haven't won any games with Access Tunnel yet, but I feel like that's going to happen at some point here. Just go dive back in, immediately finds an opponent. The deck wants to battle. What can I say? Okay. We'll get to see Silverquill Command in action. I feel like we've had a 1-drop like every game, so not having one feel exposed. Oh, that's really good. Just need 1 more land. Combat Professor into Silverquill Command. And they don't play a 2-drop creature. Oh, this game feels almost over. Though we need to draw a creature here probably to make it really good. Ooh. They got rid of Professor of Zoomancy. That's interesting. Wow, they are just ramping. Having a creature this turn would have been good, but... So if they tap out for something big, we just make them sack it. And we probably just buff our creature. We could also play Killian plus this. Oh yeah. Looking good. Silverquill Command was pretty devastating there. Pretty devastating. If they have removal, I have Beaming Defiance. Booyah. Let's go. I've actually been really happy with Beaming Defiance. That card is very good. It has consistently blown out my opponent's removal spells and let my creatures continue attacking in and stuff. So I think that card is actually just pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Hexproof is very good in limited, and even having it only for a turn is really good, as we've seen with Snakeskin Veil in the past. It's much better than Indestructible, like for a turn, because like as we see with the difference between that and like Professor's Warning wouldn't have done what we needed it to do there. Okie doke. Let's keep it rolling. Alexander Holt. It's a bronze player, but never be fooled by ranking like that sometimes. Okay, opponent goes first. We get to keep a pretty decent hand. It's not the best. It's one of our weaker hands, but it's definitely still a keep. Both colors, 3 spells, 4 lands, including a Scry land for if we do get to the late game. Both players keep their opening hands. The bronze 1 logo is much bigger than the gold 1 logo. I wonder why. I wonder why. Oh, they mulliganed. Never mind. They didn't keep their opening hand. I like the detail that goes into this. The things just make different sounds. Eye twitch. So it's either Silverquill or Witherbloom, probably. Or blue-black. That's actually a deck in this format, from what I've heard. I haven't drafted it or played against it myself, but I've heard that people think it's relatively all okay. Reject me, buddy. I'm ready. Obviously playing around Mana Tithe in their blue-black land situation. Okay. Did they mulligan twice? No, they were on the play. They played a land. Huh. No, they didn't mulligan twice. I think they only mulliganed once. 5, 6, 7. Yeah. We have a nice little follow-up here. Ooh, they are playing white. I was right to be afraid of Mana Tithe. I hope they have Reject and I just get to blow them out with Inkling Summoning. They aren't playing particularly quickly, but that's okay. Players take different amounts of time to play. Given the fact that they're holding up Reject mana, I'm just going to go for this. In some worlds, I could see going Killian and holding up Beaming Defiance, but it's much worse if they have Reject. They kept both on top with their Curate. Probably looking for lands or something. Sure, they had Lash. And I can play my Combat Professor. So they probably just drew the Lash. Otherwise, I don't see why they wouldn't have played it there before. I'm going to go for Combat Professor. I think they were holding up Lash before. Oh, Doomblade. Well, wrecked. I want to find a land, a black producing land, so I can play both of these guys and hold up Beaming Defiance. Well, that's a card. That is certainly a card. Wow, different land arts. Going deep into the archive there. So I take 5 a turn, but I gain back 2. Yeah, multiple choice is hard to beat. They have 1 card. This plus Beaming Defiance, plus this thing can trade with that guy. The Doomblade is was really a big player in that too. Because I played my only card that would die to it. This thing can trade there. I want to trade this thing off because then I can draw a card as well. And like the Red Sea, the lands floweth. No, they're not the Red Sea. Parting of the Red Sea. No. Yeah, really not good for us here. Unfortunate to draw so many lands in this spot. Ooh, that's good. That could be good enough, potentially. If I had drawn that last turn, it would have been even better. I can either get a 3-2 or I can make this into a 4-4, and I think I want to make this into a 4-4. Because then I'm gaining 4 life when they're hitting me for 4 life. I might have to scry an upkeep. Wow. They barely had double blue to cast that guy. Okay, they are out, but they are going to be scrying. They hold back everything. I think I really need to draw a spell this turn, which is why I scryed here. And I can cast any spell in my deck, thanks to Killian, pretty much. Ouch. I'm going to have to take a pass on that one. They are definitely favored. This eye twitch in particular is very scary. That's probably game. Ugh. They probably have a removal spell of some kind in their sideboard. Yeah. That's tough. This was a tough game. It really came down to that Doomblade, and then the multiple choice just cemented it by just being a 4/4 that drew a card, pretty much. But if I'd known they had Doomblade, which I could not have possibly known, and I don't think I was really supposed to play around Doomblade, then I could have just played the Killian on that one turn, and then I would have had the Beaming Light up to protect the Combat Professor. But if I drew a Swamp, then I could have such an effective turn 5 that I thought it was worth it not to do that. Because Combat Professor and then Killian plus Silverquill Apprentice plus Beaming Defiance is just much better. Okay, here we go. This is a better attacker. We'll play it first. It works well with Combat Professor, though. They're opting for a card on top of their deck. I wonder if they would have blocked. Might have been worth it to test them on that one. So they might have burying books. Okay, Eureka moment. If they attack, I'll probably chump with Star Pupil. It's not getting through for any more damage, probably. I can put the counter onto my flyer. Bizarre no attack there. Maybe they have a flying combat trick or something. But they're basically not... Yeah, okay, they have that. Okay. Okay with me. I'll probably put the counter onto the poet. Maybe I'd rather put it on this guy. Sure. No! No! The snakeskin! You hate to see it. Oh gosh, I lose to the removal spell now. Actually, I only lose to Mage Duel, if that's what they have. Okay, now I lose to Burying Books as well. Well, I can make 2 lethal threats here. Gosh darn Snakeskin Veil, you hate to see it. Yes, we got there! Good game, buddy. Woo! Got the job done. We are 1 win away from a max win run, and also 1 win away from being in Platinum. Hype. Always a lot of fun. Ranking up, playing some games, winning with Silver Quill. What else is new? Life is good. Let's go. Hype. Swag for days. Oh, this deck is sweet to play. I really like it. Just a lot of cheap cards working together in harmony. I've been in a real aggro phase recently with draft, where I just draft a lot of aggro decks. And I've been liking it. Ooh, the Platinum Gatekeeper. Okay, we'll keep it. Time to see what you're really made of, Beaming Defiance. Give me an unwilling ingredient. Nope, land is fine, though. So we're a little bit more defensive this game. We'll probably take the trade if they offer it. No blocks. Get rid of Enthusiastic Study. So now I can block this thing. That is an ouch. I will not lie. That did not feel muy bueno. Well... They might just activate Stonerise Spirit here, which I wouldn't be that opposed to. It means they're not developing their board. Let's hope for the best. Okay, so we got the trade we wanted. It was a higher risk play, but definitely a higher reward as well. So I can double block here. They also might activate. I'm fairly certain they're going to activate here. And that means next turn I really want to draw land so I can go Inkling Summoning and Beaming Defiance it. Or I might just have to play Spectre of the Fens. Not the best case scenario, but a 2/3 flyer also does the same thing. Wow, that is... I'm not going to say an egregious attack, but I don't think it's very good attack, yeah. Because they kind of have a clock on me right now, if they can keep doing that. And this is a very good trade for me. Yeah, you don't want to attack, buddy. They just want to pass here. I think I have full knowledge of their hand and stuff, and they have like a 3-turn clock almost. Just activating every turn. Yeah. And I'm certainly holding up Beaming Defiance now so I don't lose to removal. Because a 1/1 Menace on the ground doesn't do anything. Okay, they keep chipping away. Now I can hold up that. They'll give something flying. Wow, that was what they gave flying? Okay. That's interesting. Oh. I think they should have put it on the first year. Then they have 2 lethal threats. I'm almost definitely just going to try to activate this thing. Though I guess it's not lethal if I activate, so maybe it makes sense. Yeah, I should have done that differently. I can get rid of that guy, but I don't think I need to. I have good defensive setup. I see why they put it on this guy now. That actually makes more sense. So I can't trade with it with anything. This thing's actually a decent attacker here. I'm glad I was patient. If I'd gone for a weird attack there, I could have cost myself. Ah, they're using the Hedrons. Let's use the blissful, happy Hedron. Oh, nice. They don't have enough mana to activate now, so I get to make an attack, I think. This is a fine trade for me. 2/1 for 2/2, or their activator for it. Wow, this is tough. You hate to see it. Oh, that's brutal. That is an ouch. Oh, man. They just drew too many removal spells for me to handle, I guess. This is where... this is tough. Wow. So they can't block any of my guys. But I have to block something of theirs. If I drew +3/+3 and flying, I would win, maybe? No, I wouldn't, because they can chump block. I think this is the best block. Actually somewhat close to being able to win here. And the fact that I can stop their intro to annihilation is huge. Big moment. Man, I have to block, I think. Because if I don't block, then if I chump block, then I'll have to chump it again next turn. And here, if I draw removal, man. No! So close! Oh, okay. No blocks. This way, if I draw +3/+3 and flying, I can win. Come on. No! Oh! Close. That was a close game. That Rise of Exodus came a turn before I could handle it. I might have been able to absorb it if I'd had one more turn of draining them. I was very close to having lethal there. It's a close game. Very, very close. But now we have one last shot at the max wins. We're 6-2. This is what dreams are made of. This is exactly what we've been waiting for. Win or go home, the final boss, the epic matchup for the marbles. All of the marbles, as they say. You gotta get the marbles. Marbles need to be involved in some capacity here. Whew. Final boss. Let's just go 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, Silver Command. Win the game. Yes. That's what we're hoping for. That was a close one. Very close. I'm wondering if we could have done anything differently. I don't think we really could have. I'm sure we could have done different stuff, but I'm not sure if it would have made a difference. Okay. We lost the die roll, which is never a good sign, but we have 1-drop, 2-drop into some combat tricks. Do they have shock? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Of course they have shock. That's the second time that's happened, where, like, the Mythical Archive shock just dumpsters. I am in shock myself that they would have such a card. Wow. I'll trade here if they let me. I'm just going to cycle through my deck with this Defiant Strike. And if they have a removal spell, I can Beaming Defiant to stop that and keep my guy alive. Yes. We did it. That worked out. I feel like these Beaming Defiances have been clutching it for me. They're short on mana, so we're just going to do this. We don't want them casting any 5-mana spells a turn early to help them catch up. We'll leave this to trade with the 2-1. And they have few lands, but we can maybe just like hope for the best with our Make Your Mark. Like Make Your Mark our Unwilling Ingredient and buff this thing's power so it trades with this. I don't know if it'll work, but it could. It most certainly could. This way they can't fizzle my spell by killing this thing. I mean, they can, but they can't fizzle the ability part. And they had to Heated Debate my 1-drop. Still not the best. I would rather have the extra 3-2, but it happens sometimes. Uh-oh. Wow, they didn't block the guy. This thing comes into play tapped, right? 3-2 tapped, yeah. Wow, it was so risky because I really wanted that guy to stay alive, too. Yes. Please work. Please work. Oh, we have a lot of flyers here. And we have a removal spell. Oh, do they actually have Magma Opus? Ah! Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh no. I can put them to 1. Or I can keep this guy back, block there, and then use the anatomy to win. Yes! Got the win. Ooh, baby. Didn't quite make it to Platinum, but got a nice little max wins run with the scrappy little Silver Quill deck. Nice. Oh my goodness. That was intense there down the stretch. We played some incredibly close games at the end there. Really, really fun draft overall. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did make it all the way to the end of this video, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more, and comment with your questions, thoughts, and feedback, and leave hashtag #ClutchDefiance to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video, because this was a very good draft for Beaming Defiance, and it came in when we needed it the most. So hashtag #ClutchDefiance to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video. Remember that you can support my videos and help me continue making more of them by checking out the Patreon at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas and get access to the card tier list for Strixhaven and other cool rewards as well. If that's something you're interested in, you can also find my articles and the Discord server linked as well in the description down below. That is going to do it for this draft video, though. A lot of fun cards in this deck. Silver Quill Command was great. Beaming Defiance was great. The 1-drops were great, even though they kept shocking the Star Pupil. And then these 4-drop flyers were quite nice as well. That's going to do it for this video, though. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.